This is Season 6 of the Team Roping Journals podcast, The Score. With over 2 million downloads, this is where Team Ropers talk. Hey everyone, it's Chelsea Schaefer. Welcome to this Thanksgiving week bonus episode of The Score, presented by the Select Online Sales and Solo Select. My guest today is Ty Smith, who, he's the man behind the curtain for a lot of the biggest horse sales in the industry. When we interviewed him back in February, he was our most listened to podcast of the year, or he is our most listened to podcast of the year. And I think that's because a lot of people don't know Ty, and he kind of likes it that way. He doesn't do many interviews, so I'm so lucky that he decided he'd talk to us again this year. Ty is an Oklahoma native who lives in Whitesboro, Texas these days, and he is the CEO of Solo Select Horse Sales. Solo Select has broken all kinds of records this year as far as the horse sales that they have done. They have sold a horse for $500,000 online, highest selling online horse in the Western industry's history. They sold the horse at the Pink Buckle in partnership with the Relentless Remuda for $875,000. That was the winner's version. RC Back in Black Colt Blackout that went to Victory Farms' Danny Ray. And that they sold the highest selling yearling of all time at the Snaffle Bit sale through Western Bloodstock, and that was for Southern Ranches. So they have really racked up the money this year when it comes to horse sales, and they are not done yet. They have 2 more sales left of the year, and today we are going to talk about where the rope horse market is and how we are going to see some of that play out in the Thanksgiving sale, November 23rd, 2023, here in just a couple days. So this sale is a mixed bag of all kinds of amazing horses. There are stallion prospects, there are yearlings, there are barrel prospects, tons of rope horse prospects, finished cutters, finished show horses, and a very special embryo that is actually what we really wanted to talk about today. And that embryo is out of Apache R. Haley by the stallion Woody B. Tough. Woody B. Tough is the top earning rope horse sire of 2023. He's just racked up the money. He's had a ton of earners who have done really, really well. I think every time I turned around and I was writing a story, everything had Woody B. Tough in it this year at the rope horse futurities. And we're seeing them at the rodeos. We're seeing them at the horse shows. They're kicking butt on the rope horse side of things. And Junior Nogueira decided to breed his mare, Apache R. Haley, to Woody B. Tough. So now Haley, we estimate she has about $750,000 in earnings. Haley has been around. I think the first story we wrote about her was with Colin Von On when he busted out this 5-year-old that he had never ridden before at a jackpot. And he didn't have a choice, and he busted her out at the pro rodeos because all of his other horses were hurt, and he won the world that year. So that was pretty amazing. Haley's been a big part of Colin's career and then became a big part of Junior's career. When Junior bought her in 2016, Junior won the regular season on Haley and then won his all-around world title. She was the horse that he rode most of the year to win the all-around, his first gold buckle. And Haley has won everything from the Spicer Grip to the Wildfire to the U.S. Open. She has been just an absolute war horse. She was actually in our War Horses feature in the October issue for how long she lasted and for how much she's won. She is still sound. And so this will be the first embryo available to the public out of Apache R. Haley, and we're very excited to talk about it with Ty Smith today. I have told you that I want to do another episode because you are the single most popular episode of the year, which I'm not surprised, but I am surprised too because you are the man behind the curtain, and we'll just leave you that way. But when we talked in February, we talked about your episode was about the rope horse market, and I can't help but think that that's why everybody was so curious as far as what you think the rope horse market is going to do and what it's doing right now. So first, just give us a rundown. What's your credibility here to tell us about what the rope horse market's doing?
Well, I just think as far as the credibility is I look at a lot of horses and buy a lot of horses and we breed a lot of horses. And I go to a bunch of horse sales, and then Solo has an online sale, about every 6 to 7 weeks. And as far as the market, it's the first part of November, and I think the best horses are as strong, if not stronger, than they were when we talked in February. The mediocre horses are still kind of the same. They're kind of leveled out. And the low end, in my opinion, is still extremely high. So as far as the market, it really probably hasn't changed since we spoke last. But I would say that the very best ones have gone up. If you have the right one, it's really good.
And for you guys, you've had some of the right ones this year. What were some of the records that you guys have broken? There was the horse at the Pink Buckle.
Yes. That was a horse that we had as a 2-year-old. He sold with a Pink Buckle spot up there. Really, really nice horse. And then we had the high seller at the Snafflebit Futurity. That was a yearling that we bred, Southern Ranch raised, and then we fitted and presented it at Western Bloodstock, and it was the high seller. Brought 180,000. And then we've had some really good sales online. We had a mare bring $500,000 this year. It's just been a really good year, Chelsea.
Absolutely. And what is the secret there? Is that Mel? It's the whole program. It feels like for me.
The secret. Everyone asks me that. The secret to Solo is our team.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an amazing team. And when those horses are properly taken care of, properly fitted, presented, and then Mel and the girls that do all the social media and pictures and all that, I mean, it's just one big team that comes together and everyone pulls their weight. And when you have that, I guess when you have that secret sauce, it all just comes together, and there's nothing really to hide. It's just teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking before Thanksgiving, and so that on the November 23rd, there is going to be the Thanksgiving. It's a mixed sale, and honestly, when we first started talking about this sale, when it said just this mixed sale, I got to thinking it's like, just a little bit of whatever, maybe stuff that's left over from the year that didn't get. That is not true. That is like when I saw the list of horses that's coming up in this sale, I was blown away. It is not the leftovers. It's
pretty amazing. It's, our November sale every year is our biggest sale. We have horses in there. We have the horse that won the Snafflebit Futurity. We have stallions, embryos, show horses that showed at the Snafflebit, cutters, very, very good cutting horses. So there's a stud in there that's won 75,000. There's some outstanding mares. There's great rope horse prospects. There is a wide variety of everything through the wholesale.
Yeah, and some of the studs that are in there, I mean, they're stallions that have bred already. They're stallions. Some of them are stallions that are prospects. What are some of the rope horse stud prospects in there?
As far as the rope horse prospects, there's a little of everything, because all of the horses that are trained through there are still of age to be rope horses. So there's not just one particular one. There's a whole wide variety through that whole sale, because they're all of age. And that's the best thing about finding a prospect anymore is the training that's already done if people are looking for that.
Yeah.
And then there's yearlings that you can send and do your own thing, put in your own program, which a lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah. Have you talk about the yearling market this year on the rope horse side of things? Like what's the yearling market doing?
That's a funny question. I probably manage as many rope horse prospects now as I do cutting horses and cow horses. And that's just changed here recently. Everyone is wanting to buy yearlings and start them just for team roping. And I think it's a great idea myself. I think there's a lot of stuff that will save time doing it that way. And I also just think there's going to be a lot of success. I think it's changing, and the road horse market is changing, and it takes such a great horse to win. And I think everyone's wanting to give their, or, have their own shot on building their program.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, they're starting from the start and seeing the whole process through. And, I think it's genius myself. I mean, that's how we do it in the cow horses and the cutting horses and all that. And now it's related over the team roping horses. And I think it's going to get tougher and tougher every year. In my opinion, that's great. That's where the team roping horses need to go. It needs to be a process, and I think you'll see a lot of these programs succeed that's doing it.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the site right now, and I definitely want to talk to you about, like, in my eyes, one of the coolest crosses that I've ever seen on the rope horse side, and that's Apache R. Haley and Woody B. Tough. We'll talk about that, but I didn't realize that you had all those JLo's Glow or embryos in the sale too. That's some cool team roping cred.
Yes, man. That mare has been great. Bobby and Joseph have done a phenomenal job for the Bledsoe family, and that mare is just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And then going back to Haley, Apache Blue Boy, Haley's sire, was a great show horse. From the amateur to the open level. And then what a great way to end his career, having a filly that goes in the hands of Colin and then on to junior. And I don't know how much that mare has won exactly, but it has to be the leading mare, I would assume.
It is. And it's been my glorious, glamorous, very glamorous job over the years to try to keep track of some of these things. And Junior and I, 5 years ago, maybe it was before COVID, went through every one of his earnings in all of the earnings databases and Collins, and we highlighted every dollar that they had won and cross-referenced it with videos. So, now we track these things, thank gosh, on Rope Horses, officially. But back then, I mean, we had come up with $750,000 as a low end estimate of what she had won, and definitely the highest earning rodeo mare.
And what a great way to do it. I mean, that mare's won at the highest level.
Yeah.
And, Mel and I and Caleb are just privileged that they picked Woody.
Mm-hmm.
And people it's funny, Chelsea, I've had a ton of people call me asking what that embryo was worth and how do you put a blue book value on a mare of that quality that has been campaigned like she is and crossed on Woody. All I can say is I hope whoever buys it has a very successful time, whether it's a stud or a filly, campaigns it the right way, and then looks us up for its breeding career whenever they're done.
Yeah, because I know Junior was called the other day, and he was like, oh, gosh, I just want it to go to a good place. And I said, it's going to. I'm sure it's going to, because he's got 3 that he has kept, and there's 2 in Brazil. And then he's got 3 of her babies that he's kept, and he's so excited. I've got to get him to let me post the videos of them because they're really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool. So, but this is
everyone that has a mare of that quality, that's a huge deal. Is we all want them to go to the right hands where they're successful, and not only for the buyer that buys this embryo, but for Junior's sake on making that mare a producer.
Yeah, it's important to him. He's been which for as old as she's not that old, but she's old enough that you could have bred her quite a bit, but she's only has 5, and 3 of them he has kept very close to his heart, and he's going to keep it show. So this is the first one that's ever going to be available to the public. So, and there's not one thing that I think is interesting about Haley's embryo or Haley period is that there has never been a mare at this level that has been a breeder or has been ever had any embryos for sale. This has never existed. The only other mare that's won even close to what she has, is Dolly of Dustin Birds, and Dolly has 1 baby that Dustin has, and I think 2 that Brandon Webb has, but otherwise there's nothing close. So,
it's amazing to allow the public to have such a unique creation. And like I said, I wish the buyer the best of luck because, everyone's pulling for him.
Yeah, absolutely. You remembered Apache Blue Boy, right? Because he's from Oklahoma.
Apache Blue Boy started with a guy named Jody Raymer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jody had great success on that horse, and then Steve Orth had that horse after Jody, and they both those guys had great success on that horse.
Mm-hmm.
And plus Mike Rowe, that was John's son that owned the stud. That horse's career was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what a better story to tell after his career to produce a mare like her.
And I feel like team ropers are kind of new at buying embryos. So what is the 101 on buying embryos? You're buying something that's not even alive yet. It feels like a big risk for people. What do they need to know?
Yeah, but it's made it so simple now, Chelsea. You can on these embryos, you can insure all these embryos just like you can insure your horse that's going up and down the road every day. So it takes a lot of the risk out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people like buying embryos because they like that cross. That's their magic cross that fits their program or, fits their horse trainer that they use. And so that is the beautiful thing about buying embryos that you don't have to create or, have the mare and the time and all that stuff, because all of these embryos will fall out in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to call.
Because you answer the phone. Like
I will do that. I'm not very good at texting, but I will answer that phone.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, sir. We will see you soon, but the sale is November 23rd, and everything sells in one day on the selectonline.com, bid.theselectonline.com, or on the app, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If anyone has any questions, like I said, don't hesitate to call. And Chelsea, I appreciate it again.
Of course, Ty. Thank you.
You bet. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Well, thank you for hanging with me and Ty today. We appreciate it. If you are interested in bidding, the information is all available at bid.theselectonline.com. And you can download the app from there. If you don't have the app on your phone, what are you doing with your life? I know on sale days, I certainly like to sit there and watch that app and see what people are buying, what horses are bringing. It is a lot of fun. It is better than scrolling TikTok or refreshing your Facebook feed, because you get to watch all kinds of cool horses sell for all kinds of cool money. Haley's embryo is lot 225 in the sale. And if you have any questions, you can call Melanie at 940-733-8581 or email mel@soloselecthorses.com.